guys, welcome back to another Simply Dark episode. Today's episode is one that I've been fascinated about for such a long time. I am going to be telling you the story of a man called Paul Dienach, the man who traveled to the year of 3906. So if, like me, you guys are interested and super curious about stories like this one, please just keep on watching. In 1921, a man named Paul Amadeus Dienach fell into a coma in which remained for a year until he made a successful recovery. Paul had been suffering with health problems for many years, but what made him be recognized worldwide was what he said had happened to him while he lay in coma. He claimed that he migrated into the body of a man living in the year of 3906, and that because of that he had a unique insight of what was going to happen in the future. The people he encountered in the future were well aware of what was going on with Paul and all his situation, and took joy in explaining to him everything that happened since he fell into the coma till the year 3906. The only things they would not tell him about was the things that happened in the 20th century, as they claimed that Paul might feel tempted to change the course of the world if he was aware of what would happen in his immediate future. Paul also claimed that between the years of 2000 and 3000, humanity would be stricken by a number of serious problems, including overpopulation, the destruction of the environment, economic inequality, starvation, and wars. He also said that most of these problems could be attributed to the failure within the monetary system, something which many political commentators would agree on right now. When Paul awakened from his coma, he finds himself back in the year 1922, but with an incredible amount of knowledge and information that he learned about during his 1 year stay in the future. So because Paul's health problems still persisted, he knew that he didn't have long to live. I think he had like a degenerative disease, something like that, so he knew he was dying, and because of that he decided to write a journal. So every single day he would write something in his journal that nobody around him knew about. He would not let anyone read his journal. It was kept strictly secret, and in this journal he would write everything he remembered from that year away. Curiously, Paul was not an author or poet or not even a professional writer. He was just a normal man that decided to write down his experience in a journal, and his intent was never ever to publish this journal. He kept it a secret his remaining years, and then when he died, he left the journal to his best friend, and he said to him that he could read his journal with the condition that he would never ever show it to anyone. But when his best friend read the journal for the first time, he was so incredibly amazed by what he said that he decided to publish the journal. And then boom, the world went crazy over this book. And by the way, the book is called Chronicles from the Future, the amazing story of Paul Amadeus Dienach. So if you guys would like to read it by yourselves, I will leave a link in the description box below so you can find it out. The link is not sponsored. I don't earn anything from it. I just think it is an interesting read, so I will just leave it down there. Now, let's get into what this video is about. Let's talk about some of the most amazing stuff that Paul learned while in the future. So between the years of 2000 and 2300, humanity is still struggling with the problems of overpopulation, destruction of the environment, wrong monetary system, lack of appropriate nutrition for all people, and some local minor wars. People are still only worried about financial survival and are completely starting to forget to look for their inner self and spiritual development. By 2204, the colonization of Mars is complete, and we have 20 million people living in the red planet. But unfortunately, in 2265, a vast natural destruction kills them all. So something of natural causes happens in Mars and humanity is extinguished, and never again humans try to colonize Mars. In 2309, as the result of an accumulated and non-solved problems, another big disaster comes to Earth, which is the Great Global War. So basically we're gonna have World War III in 2309. Because of this huge and very ugly war, a great part of the civilization we know today stops to exist. Many years after this war, a great change begins. So in the year of 2396, we finally establish a global parliament on Earth called Global Union of Nations. And what's amazing about this new global parliament is that it is elected by the nations, not by politicians or businessmen. So basically, people that are entitled to vote are like scientists, technologists, and all these, humanitarian figures. So good people that know what they are doing. The money, as we know, doesn't exist anymore. The planetary resources are redistributed and are now enough for every single person. By this time, most of our problems are also resolved. So overpopulation, obviously it is resolved because we just had a huge war that killed like half of the world. But also the climate problems, the ecological problems, and the nutrition problems, they are all solved by this time. Then by 3382, a remarkable phenomenon happens in humanity. People, one after another one, acquire a sudden spiritual ability that could be called hypervision or hyperintuition, and it is also known as a mutation of the brain. This gives humankind a direct access to the great spiritual light and makes us extremely powerful with stunning creative powers. Now, between the years 3400 and 4000, a new age starts called Golden Age. Now the global parliament is updated, is working a lot better, because obviously while having a global parliament is a good thing because everyone is working together for the same thing, there was still a lot of things that weren't working quite right, and I will not go too much deep into this because I would be here all day, so I would recommend you guys to read the book for all the details. But it wasn't working like as good as it should, because humankind still had a lot of greed and still didn't know how to work and do things properly. But between these years that I just mentioned, we got better and better and better, and finally we have a global government that are not composed of scientists and technocrats anymore, but personalities that combine qualities and abilities of philosophers, artists, mystics. So all this new generation of very, very clever people that want to take Earth into the light. By this time, everything in this society is free. Clothes, houses, food, transportation, everything is free. Can you imagine living in the world that there's no hunger, there's no poor people, like everybody is the same? That's insane to me, and to be honest, very, very hard to believe, but it would be amazing if this really happened, to be honest. Another thing that I thought it was really, really interesting is that people do not count anymore the success of their lives with technological and material standards of living, but mainly with their emotional, mental and spiritual development and self-improvement. People work only 2 years of their entire life, and normally this happened between 17 and 19 years old. The population on Earth is less than 1 billion people, and there is an abundance of products for a decent living. The laws in the society are radically reduced to very few only, as the negative or criminal intentions of individuals in the society are almost absent. And there are only 3 kinds of laws. Those referring to the 2-year term of working, those referring to how traveling, traffic and distribution of goods is done, and those referring to the demographic, stable size population, basically the control of births. And yeah, isn't it insane that those are the only rules they have, and that there's almost no criminal records in this new world? Like, how insanely amazing is that? And this was all the information that I gathered together for you guys. Obviously the book goes into detail a lot more, so I would definitely recommend you guys to read this book if you are enjoying the video and if you want to know more about this amazing story. These were just a few bits and pieces that I thought it was the most interesting and that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below all your thoughts about these. I will for sure read them and reply to them. Let me also know if you already read the book and what you think about it, because I would really, really like to know. Also, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about my new hair? Do you like it? Do you think it looks nice? Like, this is the first time I have copper hair, and at first I wasn't sure if I liked it or not, but now I'm kind of loving it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below as well. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble again. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and if you want to see more episodes. Also, don't forget to subscribe and join the family so you can get all my videos as soon as I upload them. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye!